Hi everyone, I hope you're doing great today. So, after so long, here are the details I promised you regarding our Africans for Trump 2020 campaign team. You know, a lot of people have reached out to me to ask, Joe, how are we going to be able to vote for Trump from Africa? We live in Africa. How can somebody vote for an American president when we are not citizens of America? Well, you are not going to vote for Donald Trump if you are in Africa and you are not an American citizen. You can only vote in your country where you have citizenship, okay? But here is what we are planning to do. First of all, I want to give you a background of where the initiative behind the Africans for Trump 2020 came from. It came from my activism in 2016 because during the US elections in 2016, I was actually on ground in Lagos, Nigeria, okay? It was from there that I actually did all the campaigning that I did for Donald Trump. And I remember that I spent money and spent hours on ending on the phone, talking to most of my friends who were leaning towards Hillary Clinton, okay? Hillary Clinton was like preferred. Almost every person who was close to me at that time was talking about Hillary. Nobody wanted to hear about Donald Trump. I mean, the media had already rubbished him, painted him so black. Like, it was as if mentioning Trump, the mere mention of Trump was like a crime against humanity. I remember how the people unfriended me on Facebook, called me lunatic, called me names, all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you, it was unbearable. Sometimes I wonder what strength did I have to withstand all of that. I don't know. I don't know where the grace came from, but I guess it's definitely from God. And so during that period, I would pick up the phone and call all my friends. I started from my home state in Maryland, US, and then I would call people in different parts of the US. I would call them and talk to them about the need for us to actually support Donald Trump. And they would go straight up, stop, just stop, just stop. This man is this, is that, is that. But guess what? I always stood my ground. And to be honest with you, 8 to 9 out of every 10 persons that I had spoken with ended up voting for Donald J. Trump. It was a miracle that I talk about every day till today. Like, every single one of them, nearly every single one of them, by the time I had spent hours, sometimes days speaking to these people, making my point, they always came around and understood and then ended up agreeing with me. And so all of those people who agreed with me ended up voting for Donald Trump. And these were not like independents. These were people who had already made up their minds that they were going to vote for Hillary Clinton. But I ended up getting them to vote for Donald J. Trump in 2016. That was amazing. And so that was the premise on which we decided to set up Africans for Trump 2020, which we have today, okay? Africans for Trump 2020 campaign is going to do exactly what I did at that time in 2016. So this should be able to answer your questions. You are not going to vote from Africa. But what we are going to do is, if you are an African and you are a member of the Africans for Trump 2020 team, you will have to first of all check if you have someone in the United States of America who has voting rights. If you have a friend, if you have a relative, father, mother, sister, brother, or whoever that you have in America, and you know that they are citizens or that they have voting rights, this is what you can do. Pick up your phone, call them up, and open up the conversation about them voting for Donald J. Trump. The first thing you're going to receive is that they're going to wave it aside and say, are you okay? Have you gone mad? Just don't worry about it. Make sure that you stand your ground and keep on making the point. And we have made things so easy for you, right? Like, you don't even have to work too hard to prove anything to anybody. Because I have done the research, okay? And I have brought out the facts. The thing with our people is that when they come face to face with the facts, sometimes it becomes a bit too difficult for them to stomach it. But when you inundate them with the facts, they have no choice than to just embrace that fact. And the facts that we have on our side are too overwhelming that it is hard for anybody to come face to face with these facts and still not cast their vote for Donald J. Trump. You know, the normal, regular narrative out there. Trump hates Africa. Trump called Africa shithole. You know, CNN had already made Trump look like such a devil among Africans. Of course, CNN is king in Africa. Everybody watches CNN. So they've already messed him up in Africa. And they don't tell you the things that the man is doing on the continent of Africa. The only thing you hear them say in the mainstream media is how Trump called Africa shithole, how Trump did this to Africa, how Trump did that and did that. But nobody wants to tell you that he was the first sitting president in the world, the first global president, the first American president to actually stand up and defend the religious rights and religious freedom of minorities, of people, of Christians, and even other religious groups around the world. Do you remember the time that Buhari went to visit Donald Trump for the first time? Trump actually had a press conference, and on that press conference spoke out for the first time, telling this man, there's this killing going on in Nigeria of Christians. You need to do something about it, or else America will do something. Can you imagine that? CNN will not let that kind of news trend. Mainstream media will not let that kind of news trend. No, they won't do that. When Trump intervened in South Sudan and made sure that they got a unity government, even against their own wishes, nobody wanted to talk about it. When Trump withdrew the aid they were giving to Cameroon because of the way they were killing the southern Cameroonians, nobody wanted to make it trend. They would just type in printed news and just leave it on the internet. They don't trend it the way they trend when he says shithole. By the way, when he called Africa shithole, can you imagine the number of Africans who agreed with him, including myself? A large percentage of Africans agreed with him because Africa is a bloody shithole. You look at Nigeria. What do you call Nigeria? Nigeria is a shithole. Everybody knows that. We need to wake up and make our continent better. If it wasn't a shithole, all these our people who are hating on Trump in America wouldn't have left Africa in the first place. They would have stayed back in Africa. Because if Africa wasn't a shithole, what are you looking for in America? Many of them in America have sworn never to leave America. They're going to stay there and die because they're running away from the wickedness back home. And yet, you are angry with him for calling your continent a shithole or calling Nigeria a shithole. I agree 100% with him. Nigeria is a bloody shithole. You blame Donald Trump, but you don't blame Russian president who said that all the Africans do is to go and bury themselves back home. When they steal money, when they have investment, they make it abroad in Europe with the colonial masters. But when they die, they say, take my body back home, turning Africa into a giant burial ground. That's what Africa does, receiving dead bodies of fools who go to spend their money abroad. What do you call such a place? Heaven on earth? What is wrong with humanity that when somebody speaks the truth, he becomes an enemy? Why do we love lies so much? Trump is not your regular politician, your politically correct, smooth-talking, no. He's not that. He is the guy that says it just as it is. And we love him like that. Because we're looking at all the things that this man is doing. The first American president to actually be in the White House with a woman who escaped from Boko Haram from Nigeria, who probably had never even seen the local government chairman that she had. This is the man who hosted the two Chibok girls who escaped. He hosted them in the White House with his daughter and a few of his officials. The same Trump. This is the man who has now signed an executive order to protect the Christians that are attacking him there in America. Back home in Africa, your families are being massacred by the Fulani herdsmen who have decided that Africa belongs to them and that they are going to bring jihad to Africa. And that jihad is ongoing as we speak right now. No other world leader has the guts to defend us from these people. Colonial powers actually love that they are massacring and killing you and I and killing our families back home. But you are more interested in castigating Trump because the mainstream media psychologically mind controlled you to do that, not even because you have any facts. I said during my broadcast, I said that 70 to 80% of the people who hate Trump don't have a single reason to hate him. They don't. If you have, I think I need to have a live broadcast where I can tell people, please come up with your reasons why you really hate Donald Trump. Come up with it. Put that your reasons side by side with the things he has done for your continent. Obama had 8 years. He never did anything. He rather destroyed whatever we had. Go and see Libya. Libya is now like, if you call Libya a shithole, is an understatement. Libya is, even animals hate to live in Libya. One of the most prosperous, if not the most prosperous African country. Far, 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 far prosperous. Beautiful place. So much money. It was under your black president that Libya was destroyed. It was your black president that gave you Buhari, under whom more Christians have now died than any other regime in Nigerian history. And most of the people who are fighting Trump in America are Christians who are also the victims. Their families are the victims of what is going on back home in Nigeria. Think about that. Doesn't it beat your imagination? Why do we hate this man? If you're a member of the Africans for Trump 2020 and you need to convince anybody, it will not be as difficult as it was for me in 2016. It's so easy. All you need to go, take them to our website, africansfortrump2020.org, and click on why Trump, because that's what many of them always ask. Show them the facts that are there, because facts don't lie. If they find out that the facts there are not actually facts, that they are fallacies, please tell them don't have anything to do with this group again. Please don't vote for Trump. Go ahead and vote for Joe Biden. How can you see facts and argue with the facts? Because when they come in contact with the fact, they won't argue with you and me anymore. They will not have to argue with the facts. These things are reported in the news. I'm not just speaking. I have done the job for you. Just show it to them. Tell them this is the only hope we have for survival in Africa. This man has done. Look at the executive order that this man signed. I ask again, did he have to do it? Be honest with yourself. Do you think Trump actually has to do that? Do you think he had to do it? Is it compulsory? You call him white supremacist, even when it is already there documented in history that Democrats are the ones who are the white supremacists. You still call him white supremacist. Even when it is so clearly documented, and I've done a documentary on this, that the Democrats founded KKK, you still attribute KKK to him. All well and good. You've done all of that. This man should be angry about all of this and just leave us to be. But he had to come and do this. Tell me, if Trump didn't sign the executive order to protect Christians and to protect religious groups that are being persecuted in Africa, around the world, do you think anybody would beat him? You won't do anything to him. He just went out of his way to do this. Executive order. If you don't have details, go to my page, Joseph Okechukwu on Facebook, and see a video I did on this executive order. It is one of the most detailed rescue missions I've ever seen in my entire life. This is a man who only a few months ago had created an international coalition on religious liberties. International coalition. Brought nations together and said, come with me. We need to defend people's rights to practice their religion the way they want. It's not just only Christians, even the Shia Muslims and all the other people of other religions that are being persecuted. This man, he signed it. It's not going through the Congress or Senate. It's already signed. It's in effect. And you're still looking for a reason to vote for him? If you can't think deeply enough to appreciate this kind of selfless act of love, this kind of sacrifice, what is your brain created for? I am sorry to ask, but what is it meant for? I have asked several times, what are you angry with this man over? What is it that you hate him for? What the media tells you is what you are parading all over the media. What encounter have you had to show that this man should be hated? Today, he's coming to save our behind in Africa. And nobody else wants to. And of course, you bet the colonials are going to fight it. That's why they want him out by all means. Because they hate the fact that Trump is coming to bring freedom to all the people who are caged and are in bondage in Africa. All the funding that these criminals have been receiving, America has already identified all those fundings, and they are blocking all of them one by one. I promised all that very soon I'm going to make a video to show you why America is intervening in some financial institutions in Africa. So you will know why it's still for our own good. My people, let us be wise. I have done the best I can, and I'm going to continue to trumpet it. I'm going to continue to scream and shout until this gets deep down into our skulls. We have found a friend in Donald Trump. We have found a man sent from God to help all of us. And if we don't take advantage of this now, I'm telling you before God and man, all of us are going to suffer for it. May God forbid. And so, in rounding up, I encourage you, please go to our website, register, and become a member. How you register, you go to africansfortrump2020.org. You see the homepage, you just click on Get Involved. When you click on Get Involved, you're going to see a form, an online form, okay? You fill that form. Your details will come to us. We have details of all the people. I think we have more than 1,000 that have registered already. We have details of everybody. You go down to the place that says position interested in. You can see country coordinator, you see assistant country coordinator, you see diplomatic attaché, you see media and publicity, finance, youth mobilization officer, you see student leader, women leader, logistics manager, security advisor, legal advisor, and then just a member. Whichever one you have filled, we will get it. I need more people to rush to that website now and begin to register. I have already detailed to you how this is going to go down. You will call your people that are in America, friends, family, brother, sister, cousin, whoever it is you have in America. If you are in Africa, call them and tell them that, look, this is why I think you need to cast, as long as they have voting rights, tell them this. They need to cast their vote for Donald J. Trump, because a vote for Donald Trump is a vote for freedom for those of us who are oppressed in Africa. And not only the people who are in Africa as well. Our African brothers and sisters who are in America, if you are interested in joining, those of us who are in America, you will have to get out and go home to home, house to house, and talk to people, even call people out and take them out and buy drinks and sit down and start a conversation. If you can't talk to them on the phone, if they live in a different state, but if they live within your own state, just go hang out with them, talk to them. This is not going to be so easy, but it is also very easy because the facts are there. I've told you, you don't need to go and research anything again. Just go to our website, carry your device. You have a phone, open the website on your phone and click on White Trump and let them see the facts there on that page. There's nobody who will see the facts there on the page and still want to begin to consider voting for Biden. We all know the history of Biden. We all know the history of these Democrats. Your job is already cut out for you. Very easy. So please, if you are in America and you want to be a foot soldier, get in touch with me. There's an email displayed on the screen. Get in touch. Get in touch. We are going to create our own social media handles. We're going to have a Telegram page. We're going to have a Facebook page. We're going to have all the pages we need to have so that we can become like one family. Everybody will have an ID card. You can identify with this mission. We need to fight because this is the fight of a lifetime. And we will not only be convincing people, we will also be praying as well. We have an intercessory team that will be praying as well for this man. We have to do this. We have to do this. I would never mislead you. I will never lie to you. I'm telling you the gospel truth as I know it, as I see it. And if I tell you to do something without giving you a proof, you know I'm a lunatic. But I have the proofs. But you go check my proof and see if it is not true. If it is not true, then just call my bluff and move on. But if they are true, if the facts are really the facts and not fallacies, why don't you consider joining us in this team so we can get this man to receive another 4 years. This 4 years that is going to become our escape route from evil. I know deep down in my spirit that I have been able to speak to your soul please don't hesitate. Let's join our hands together and work with the Trump 2020 campaign. It is called Africans for Trump 2020. I want to welcome you, and I want to thank you for giving me audience, and I pray that God will give you the grace and the strength to fight with us, because victory is assured. God bless you.